Hello, Airmen Guardians and families. My name is Sharon Aka, and I am the Chief for the Exceptional Family Member Legal Assistance and Policy Branch. Welcome to our second segment of our Introduction to Special Education Law. In this segment, we will provide an overview of a few important federal laws that may be helpful to you as a parent or guardian of a special education student. Please be sure to visit our video library in our DAF Family Vector website to see our complete series and other legal topics. Today, we will discuss the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, and the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. These are IDEA, Section 504, and FERPA. IDEA is the federal law that governs the identification and eligibility of children with disabilities and the provision of special education services to children who qualify. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act protects our children from disability-based discrimination. And I like to say that FERPA is our friend. FERPA allows us to gain access to our children's educational records, which is helpful when requesting evaluations or perhaps considering legal action against a non-compliant school. Think of IDEA in these terms. When a state receives federal IDEA funds, they have entered into an agreement with the federal government to provide the unique needs of a child with a disability, as is necessary to access FAPE. You may remember the term FAPE from part 1 of our series. FAPE is a free and appropriate public education. The vehicle that is used to capture the services and accommodations necessary for FAPE is an IEP, or an Individualized Education Program. Sometimes you and your child's IEP team may disagree on the terms of the IEP. In this instance, IDEA provides formal procedures for filing a complaint, but hopefully, this is where you will engage with your local legal assistance attorney who may help you and the school to resolve matters. However, if you're unable to reach an agreement with the school, a formal due process proceeding may be filed. The dispute can then be resolved through measures such as mediation or perhaps a full state or federal court proceeding. It is important to note that IDEA provides several procedural protections for you as a parent. Here are a few. IEPs must be reviewed annually. A team must include a parent or guardian, a general education and the special education teacher, and a school administrator. Changes cannot be made without prior written notice to the parents. Parents have the right to examine all of the students' educational records. Parents have the right to request an independent educational evaluation, or an IEE, and school systems must provide parents with procedural safeguards. Now let us move on to Section 504. Section 504 applies to all educational programs or activities that receive federal financial assistance. It protects persons with a disability or a mental impairment impacting at least one major life activity. As with IDEA, there are certain noteworthy procedural requirements under Section 504. These include having a designated person in charge of compliance, identification and evaluation requirements, and notice obligations designed to have parents aware of their rights. Under Section 504, educational agencies are also required to conduct an evaluation of any person who needs special education and related services and to establish periodic reevaluations. Note that unlike IDEA, there is no specific time frame for evaluations. Now here is an example of a 504 plan. You will note that the medical diagnosis is stated, the child's current challenges or educational impacts are identified, and reasonable accommodations are outlined. Also note that this is a one-page document, but for many of you who are familiar, you know that your child's IEP can be significantly more lengthy and detailed. We will talk about the required sections of an IEP in our next series as we explore the anatomy of an IEP. Now on to FERPA. First, who does FERPA apply to? Remember I mentioned that FERPA protects the rights of students and parents to examine their educational records maintained by an education agency. We are talking about education records of covered entities such as elementary schools, secondary schools, and post-secondary education such as colleges or universities that receive funds under applicable Department of Education programs. So in addition to the right to examine records or inspect records, FERPA allows you to prevent disclosure of education records request, amendments, and append statements. As with IDEA and Section 504, there are procedural protections in place for you and a formal complaint process. As we continue through this series, you will hear me mention many times to seek your legal assistance counsel if you are having legal difficulties related to your child's education journey. Your local legal assistance office is here to help guide you and prepare you in advocating for your child's special education needs. Trained base legal assistance counsel stand by ready to assist. Kindly scan the QR code on your screen or find your base attorney at https://legalassistance.law.af.mil. Thank you.